Welcome to the CUNA News Weekly Wrap-up for September 11th through 15th. And welcome to National Hispanic Heritage Month. Today, we'll learn about the flags UW Credit Union is flying throughout the month, and the decades of work that went into the Madison, Wisconsin Credit Union obtaining the Juntos, Avanzamos flag. We'll also hear from OAS Staff Federal Credit Union President and CEO Carlos Calderon, who spends every day at the Washington, D.C. Credit Union fostering trust and loyalty with Latino members. Our Q&A with Unity One Credit Union Vice President of Marketing Alyssa Guillory examines the benefits and challenges of generative artificial intelligence, and we'll also check in on what happened at the latest Credit Union Board Roundtable in Chicago. Finally, this week's episode of the CUNA News Podcast, featuring Vibrant Credit Union President and CEO Matt McCombs, covers leadership, a credit union coffeehouse, experimental innovation, adapting your business plan, and more. As always, stick to the end to hear what's happening on Capitol Hill, meet the Credit Union of the Week, and explore the week in credit union history. All right, on to the stories. When the idea of a Latino-focused credit union in Madison, Wisconsin fell through in the early 2000s, UW Credit Union committed to adapting to meet the needs of that community. About 20 years later, on September 7th, the $5 billion asset credit union held a proclamation ceremony after obtaining Inclusiv's Juntos Avanzamos designation for their commitment to Hispanic, Latinx, and immigrant communities. Being inclusive and accessible takes intentional effort. It takes effort to understand the barriers people face. UW Credit Union CEO Paul Kundert says, "This is great validation and recognition of the work we've been doing. And it's an opportunity to benchmark what we're doing and learn about more opportunities moving forward. We see today as the beginning of a new chapter." Visit news.cuna.org to read more and watch Kundert, Inclusiv's Pablo DeFilippi, and UW Credit Union's Natalie Ponce discuss the significance of the event. Now, let's head to Washington, D.C., where OAS Staff Federal Credit Union President and CEO Carlos Calderon views National Hispanic Heritage Month as a time to take pride in his community. But he doesn't require a designated month to do that. "At my credit union, every day is Hispanic Heritage Day," he says. "We live it." Read why the $300 million asset credit union, with a mostly minority membership and members in 60 countries, calls itself a credit union for the world. Calderon makes offering programs for traditionally underserved members a top priority. Latino members look for a financial institution that draws their loyalty, Calderon says. Gain their trust by showing you understand them, and they will stay with you. As Vice President of Marketing at $301 million asset Unity One Credit Union in Fort Worth, Texas, Alyssa Guillory is responsible for the planning, development, and implementation of all marketing activities, including digital, content, and select employee group/community activities. Increasingly, she's been incorporating generative AI into her role, calling it a game changer to its ability to generate ideas, craft social media captions, proofread text, and more. Any seasoned marketing pro knows that a major part of their day is spent researching, designing templates, and cooking up marketing strategies, Guillory says. Tapping into tech like ChatGPT gives us a hand, speeding up these tasks and saving us some seriously valuable hours. The economy has shifted dramatically in recent months, according to CUNA Chief Economist Mike Schenk, who spoke at the 2023 Credit Union Board Roundtable last weekend in Chicago. "This has been one of the most interesting 6 to 9 months of forecast I've ever been involved with," says Mike Schenk, CUNA's chief economist. "For the first time in the 33 years I've been at CUNA, we put together a forecast that said the U.S. economy is headed for recession. But after 2 additional forecasts, the viewpoint has changed pretty dramatically. The latest forecast calls for a return to normal, with Schenk saying credit unions are in pretty good shape. It's not a rosy forecast by any stretch, but it's a decent forecast given the potential hiccups." On the newest episode of the CUNA News Podcast, Associate Editor Brock Fritz sat down with Vibrant Credit Union President and CEO Matt McCombs to talk about the credit union's unique new offering, Vibrant Coffeehouse and Kitchen. That conversation led to a wide-ranging discussion about branding, leadership, turning ideas into action, credit unions' business plans, and more. Here's a clip from that episode, which can be found on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube.
ultimately there was this idea that, when you think of a coffee shop today is ultimately one of those things that is still central or essential into a community from a gathering point. You go to a coffee shop today when you're by yourself and you need to get some work done and you're wanting a different place to go. You go there when you have a friend you want to meet. You go there when you want to meet with your spouse and grab a cup of coffee or lunch. And so it's got this really unique value proposition from an engagement standpoint that everyone's willing to try a new one, but they quickly build loyalty around where they go and where they enjoy to be.
Our credit union of the week is Stage Point Federal Credit Union in Laramie, Wyoming. The $79.8 million asset credit union, founded in 1935 and formerly known as Laramie Plains Community Federal Credit Union, is a member of the Go West Credit Union Association, serving members in Wyoming and Colorado. The Stage Point Community Foundation is holding its third annual Brewtober this Saturday. 100% of the net profits go back to the foundation, which was formed in April 2021 to give back to organizations that enrich the community. Learn more at www.stagepointfcu.com. Finally, a quick note on the week in credit union history, specifically CUNA history. Jim Nussle was announced as CUNA CEO in September 2014, while former CUNA president and CEO Ralph Swoboda passed away September 13th, 2021. All right, that's it for this week's wrap-up. Tune back in next week for a look at Finovate, the blockchain, and more. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend. To stay up to date on these stories and more, subscribe to Credit Union Magazine, visit news.cuna.org, and listen to the CUNA News Podcast at news.cuna.org/podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out the description for links to everything discussed in this video.